1, 2, 3.
W7ITL testing 1 2 3 testing 1 2 3.
U7N testing.
A9PQ testing. A9PQ testing. A9PQ clear. Clear.
Repeater disconnected.
W7ITL testing 1 2 3 test 1 2 3. W7ITL testing 1 2 3. If you guys can hear me, go ahead and tonight use 2-meter audio normally. There's an issue with the All-Star to DATV link, so it's not working. So if you want to have audio on 2-meter, make sure that you're using your hand mic on 2-meter. Use your regular radio. here. I just wanted to let Jim know that there might be some issues with the DATV downlink to you. I'm showing some pretty high, well, not higher. It's about 7 dBs above what it normally is. There might be a little wind up there tonight, so you might have some disruptions. You may or may not be able to see the DATV output tonight. I'm just giving you a fair warning. I don't know if it's going to work tonight. I think there's a lot of wind up there tonight. This is W7ITL.
It's working. Oh, it just stopped. It's very windy at my house here too. Thank you for the info. N7QO.
I had a suspicion that it wasn't going to work when I looked at the output signal strength, and it was normally it's around 55, 60, and it's about 67, negative 67 dBm.
Good evening. This is the Western Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with digital DBT format. We transmit on 70 centimeters to a crossband repeater on Cougar Mountain and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. Please Google our homepage on the internet. There you will see some information about our group, the receive on. Also, you'll find a link to YouTube where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association. 146 with a tone of 103.5 for our audio transmissions during our nets. So I'll pause momentarily in case it or needs to make a contact on the 08 machine. It's fully underway. ZY. Welcome back. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Checked in by video link is Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma. Bob, K9PQ in Bothell. Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma. Jim, N7QO in Covington. WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Also, N7KC was going to check in this evening, but is having computer problems from Port Angeles, and we'll check in if that is restored for him. So with that, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. We'll get the ball rolling with Ron, KD7QKU.
Hey Richard, can you join us on ATV tonight?
Richard, can you join us on ATV tonight? Can you join us on ATV tonight?
Okay, you caught me a little off guard, Dave. I was just texting Richard to see if he'd join us tonight. So thank you very much, and good evening to the group. This is Ron, KD7QKU, and I'm in, I guess it's northwest Tacoma. Kind of down towards the Ruston area. anyway, I had the last 2 days I've had a little bit over half an inch of rain, which is real nice because the lawn had been fertilized and it's going to green up nicely now. So I was happy to see that. And then, let's see what else is going on. Well, today I met a couple of new guys that I hadn't met before were the Tacoma Ham Club. One of them was Doug. I don't know if you're listening. And then, of course, there's Jim. I met him quite a while back, and he might be listening tonight, too. So, who knows? We might get some new members. So what have I been doing? Well, last time I was playing with, you know, the little mesh-tastic radio. And this is the one my friend sent me from Boise. The one I couldn't hardly make work. And mess with it. Finally kind of gave up on it. And so then I purchased another one. It was one like Wade had, and I got it off Amazon. It was a little kit, and then Wade was nice enough to help me put it together. So what happened was Wade brought his over. He has a couple of them, and so he brought one over here and transmitted, and could get his other one at his house real easy, where the little red one wouldn't reach his house. So I got this one, and it came, and then I went over to Wade's, and he helped me put it together. And it works just fine, and I've got a little, you know, longer antenna for it. Normally they come with just a little short stubby antenna. And the SWR and those little short stubby antennas isn't very good, I read. So anyway, so after we got this one together, I called my friend Randy and told me that the red one didn't work very well, and I said I was going to put it in a box, send it back to him. Maybe he could send it back where he got it and get his money back, or maybe they'd fix it or give him a new one. And so Wade said, well, maybe before you send it in, we ought to take it apart and look at it. So sure, so we'd taken it apart, opened it up. Lo and behold, the antenna wire was not hooked to the radio. It was just loose. Whether it had been ever hooked up, I don't know. But so Wade hooked it back up. They're so itty bitty, you can hardly see this stuff. You almost need a magnifying glass. And the wire just snaps on. So he snapped it back on and kind of wiggled it, and it didn't fall off. So put it back together, and it works good now. So I called my friend back and said, I'm keeping it. So anyway, now I have two. So, but right now, I guess on my you work with, you know, Bluetooth on your phone, and right now I think there's 92 nodes that I think it's 92 that my phone has picked up in the Tacoma and Gig Harbor and Federal Way area. So it's there's a lot of them out here. So anyway, so I guess with that I'll send it back to net. So KD7QKU back to net.
Katie.
On the streaming. So Dave, you are very broken up for me. I don't hear you. Whoops, hang on. Yeah, I'm coming through now. So yeah, I'm not hearing 2 meters, and according to what according to what Wade said, apparently I'm not going out over 2 meters either. So I'm going to be just only on the 1.2 gig output as well as streaming. So yeah, my big first of all, Ron, interesting report, and that's pretty funny about the antenna wire, and those things happen. Those things happen, and just one of those things you never expect to happen, and they do. But the big news for me around here has been the house continuing to be the house. It has been very, very slow. So on Thursday, it had been 3 weeks, and we'd had um, two showings after the open house, and only two parties came to the open house. So really, really bad. And she got some information from meeting with people in her profession that people are backing out on deals, that it's just think there are a lot of bad indications. So we decided to lower the price. And we did, and at first we did that on Thursday, and at first I didn't expect to hear anything Thursday, but I thought I'd hear something Friday, and didn't all day. And then finally Friday evening, somebody sent me a text saying they wanted a showing on today, Saturday, which they did come. And while I was sitting out in my car, while they were inside with the showing, I got another text. Somebody wants a showing tomorrow. So I'm very, very happy about that. The lowering of the price. It's hard to tell in a market where people are afraid. They might not want to buy at any price, unless it's like a crazy price. But lowering the price just a moderate amount, still well within what I was hoping to get for it. Um, so that's we'll see how that plays out. But two showings in 2 days after two showings in 3 weeks is a very big improvement. So we'll see what happens. Back to net, K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks with that. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm going to pause momentarily in case anybody wishes to contact Amateur Television Society by us on the internet. So I'll pause for about a minute in case anybody wishes to get a hold of us through OBS. Welcome back to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, no response on OBS, so let's move on to Tacoma, to W7ITL. Wade, what say you?
Wow. All right. Well, guys, have a little show and tell. Whoops, I'm not transmitting. All right. Well, I forgot. 2 meters not working right now, so I will simulcast here. You might hear I still have a cold. A lot better though. Lots of little projects I've been working on. Ron alluded to. I've been kind of getting crazy with Meshtastic, so I have a couple pictures to show, and maybe I'll show off a couple of the units I have on my desk. So let me just show you those. All right. Well, this is one that I built. It's called a Heltec V3, and this guy here actually has something a little unique. that battery you see on the top there is actually a battery I harvested out of a e-vape, or a vape as you call them. That battery there's from this guy. Let's see if I can find the picture of where it came from. Yeah, that's the where I harvested it from. These guys have about 650 milliamp batteries in them, so it lasts about 8 hours or so when mesh-tastic. And let's show. Well, this guy right here is actually one that I just built today. It's a mesh-tastic node that I put on my roof, and it's, if you look in there, there's an 18650 battery, a charging controller there that's in the middle, and then to the left of that is it's a mesh-tastic node manufactured by Rack Wireless, I think the name of the company. And I have a solar panel as well attached to the charging controller, so that I don't have to ever get up on the roof to charge the battery. And here is the completed node. This is on my roof. That antenna that you see at the top there is a 915 megahertz LoRaWAN antenna. I think it's about 9 dB gain. And there on the right is the old node that I had it connected to, which was a helium miner. And I just took the antenna that I was originally going to put on this node and put it on the helium miner, because I haven't been making a lot of money with that lately. So thought maybe the high gain antenna would be a little better suited for the mesh-tastic experiments I've been working on. Let's see. I'm going to show you something else. Oh yeah, here's another one I built. It's the same model as the one you saw with the vape battery, but I harvested the battery from an old cell phone, and it's about a 2800 milliwatt battery. So yeah, a lot you can do with mesh-tastic, a lot of little experiments you can do. So that's what I've been working on, and yeah, I've been up on the roof, all sorts of things today, and I went to the Ham Radio Club at Tacoma in the morning, and I met with a few of the folks, and we were talking about mesh-tastic and just some other things. So yeah, it's been a long day, lots of things. Just got back from dinner, just by myself tonight. My wife's with her parents still, so I'll be by myself tonight. And with that, I will turn it back to Dave. This is W7ITL, back to net.
W7ITL, thanks for that. And let's see if we can in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Ron, yeah, you know what I was thinking when you told that story about that mesh-tastic? I used to work for a company once upon a time, and where I was, we were in a big warehouse, and there happened to be a quality control department in there as well. And it was staffed actually by some Japanese people. I was thinking that the device which you got, which wasn't working, yeah, they really said, we don't need no stinking quality control. Just send it out to the buyer. If it doesn't work, he will let us know. So anyway, glad you found the problem. Glad it was a simple problem, and that's great. It just, I don't know, sometimes strange little things like that make me think of other things that happen in my life, you know. I think that's peculiar, but anyway, that's the way it is. Bob, yeah, on our television repeater. House, it truly is a bad time to be trying to sell a house, especially in this area. I keep hearing rumors that that Boeing is going to close down some facilities, and no one knows what's going on. Everything is in a state of chaos. So I wish you luck. I'm really glad that you have a couple of interested parties. I hope it works out for you. Best of luck there. Wade, yeah, you still weren't transmitting on 2 meters. I saw you were holding a microphone. I hope you weren't transmitting on 20 meters or something, but I heard you just fine on the television repeater. The television repeater froze up on me like about maybe 3 times, but very short, just for about a second each. So I have virtually 100% copy tonight. Interesting what you're doing with the Meshtastic there. Got your own little node at the house. That looks like a cool idea. And by the way, you're looking a whole lot better tonight than you were the last time I saw you. You looked really tired the other night. So maybe it's because there are fewer honeydews for you to do now. Just a guess. I'm a married guy too. I know how that works. So anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO. Let's go down to James, and he's going to join us. James.
How is the audio doing? Okay, I'm going to assume that the audio is coming through. Well, Bob, I'm glad there's house activity. That's good news. And Wade, thank you very much for the show and tell. I'm very interested in this. I wrote down the healthtech.org and the rack wireless information in the Heltec V3 just to make sure. The Heltec V3 was the one you built in the box with the little 18650 battery, the controller, and the solar cell. I think that's what you said. And let's see, Ron. Yes, I'm glad to get the rain report. It's just been pouring rain here in Northeast Bellevue, and I need to take pictures of where all the puddles are because I think I need to install some French drains in my front yard. They probably needed it for 40 years. But now's the time to do something with it, I think, though. So anyway, we'll have to see if the rain continues or if it backs off. But other than that, lots of other summer projects. I'm kind of waiting for the rain to end so I can get a few things going out in my driveway in the relatively dry weather. So didn't get much exercise today because I just wasn't up to slogging around in the rain. So I'm hoping we maybe back off on the rain and move into spring and maybe even summer at some point. So anyway, Ron, your story about the loose antenna wire, that's funny. That's an easy fix. I'm glad it was that easy. Yeah, I was wondering why the radio I'm talking on right now wasn't working at one point, and that's because I had the VHF antenna hooked up to the HF output. It doesn't work very well that way. And anyway, the other thing that's kind of confusing is I've got antennas that come down to 50 megahertz from the VHF spectrum, but they're on the HF output. So I suppose I'm going to have to break down and buy a coax switch someday to get the right antenna going to the right output. Anyway, that's the hot news here from Northeast Bellevue. My name is James, WAU7N. Let's turn it back to net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Take it away, Dave.
Why amateur? This is in Society Net on the 08. I've got 53 degrees. And stuff done in anyway, doing domestic chores. So that's kind of fun. And for Ron, getting his Mestastic to work, I think is a great thing. Having 2 units now. And then Wade putting up a node on his roof for sort of a repeater type of situation really looked good. Oh my. And then Jim talking about buyer controller. Something going sour. It's up to the person that buys it to find a fault and then notify the person that he purchased it from that it was not working right. And James, welcome to the rain. And very good signal coming in on OBS. So that's pretty much what's happening here in Lake City. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. So I'm going to pause again in case anybody else is trying to come in on the internet with OBS. Again, this is Dave. Hearing none, again, welcome back to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's move on to Tacoma, to Ron, KD7QKU.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave, and hello to the group again. Yeah, Wade's busier than a cat on a hot tin roof, I'm telling you. Bob, I'm sorry to hear that you haven't had too many people looking. There was, I mentioned it before, there was 2 houses behind me. This is a pretty nice area we live in over here. One was a split level, really nice, and I don't know, I think they wanted less than $600,000 for it, and I heard that it sold in 3 days. They hardly got the sign up before they taken the sign down. And then one around the corner was a Rambler. My sister-in-law looked at them both. I went with her to look at the Rambler, went inside, and it was nice. I liked it. It was a nice house, and they bought the same. It was a small house. I forget how many square feet was in it, but it was 3 bedroom, normal little house, just not big bedrooms or anything. And I told my sister-in-law if she wanted it, she better buy it because the other one sold, before they hardly had the sign up. And so she's kind of hemmed and hawed, and it sold in a week. So I don't know if she wanted it or not. And now the house right next to me, Judy, her house, her husband died, and she's moving to Oregon, and she put her house on the market. So she has a real estate lady, and the lady has some carpenters and stuff, so they came in and taken all the carpet out, put in new floors, painted the house on the inside, and they put the vinyl flooring like we have that goes together in it, and cleaned it all up, and it looks real nice now. And it went on the market on Wednesday, and they had an open house today. And I assume they'll have an open house tomorrow. I only saw one person. I was getting the mail, and a person parked in front of the mailbox, and this lady, she said, "Am I in your way?" And I said, "No." I said, "You might be my new neighbor, so I gotta be nice to you." So she went in and looked at it. So it'll be really interesting to see. And they want 600 and I think 40,000 or 80,000 for the house. But it's a split level. Our house is smaller in Surrender. And then there was some talk of coax, so wait if you can hear me. I think it was Jeff that climbed the ladder last time when we were working on the ATV antennas and tightened up the clamp. Well, the day when I got to the Tacoma Ham Club, they had coax outside all over a table and a bench and stuff. And Jeff and a couple other guys were going through it. And I told Jeff, "Oh man, be sure and watch for some coax, because we're using coax as higher loss." And we talked about some LMR 600, and he said, "Oh, I got the LMR 600, it's in the shed, and I've got one connector on it." He said, "I would have already put it up on the receive antenna, but it was raining and I didn't want to do it in the rain." So anyway, so it sounds like, he said, "I didn't put the other one on because we got to push it in the building, then I'll put it on." So wait, it sounds like the LMR 600 is just about ready to go. And I exchanged phone numbers with him, and I said if he needed somebody to help him, give me a call. And I said I didn't live far and I'd come over and help him. It kind of sounded like he might do it other than a weekend. So I offered my help. So anyway, hopefully he'll do it. He said he needed somebody to help him get that extension ladder down. I remember last time we had to help him get the extension ladder down. They had it hanging up on the ceiling in the garage there. Man, oh man, do they have stuff out there. But anyway, so it'll be good to get that. And I gotta find out from Wade if that new node he has is the same as one of these other nodes, so I can call it. So anyway, we'll have to figure that out. And then I met another guy today. His name was Doug. He was sitting Wade with his back to the window. Really nice guy, and he lives on Tyler Street, not too far from the clubhouse. And he had a mesh testing radio in his pocket. So we exchanged signals, and so I got his call sign. So when I came home and looked at it, looked him up on QRZ, darn if he isn't a retired lawyer. I was kind of surprised. So he was a real nice, but a little bit younger. I think he was born in, did he say 46? I was born in 40, so he's a little bit younger than I am. So anyway, Doug. And then I met a new guy from Cumming. Oh no, it was Carbonito. Holy smoke, that's a long ways away. He drove into the Ham Club today. So anyway, the Doug guy, he might actually be able to get a TV signal, because we can get one at the clubhouse, and if he's not too far away, he might be able. When we talked about it, and we talked about watching the streaming on YouTube and stuff, so maybe he's watching, and maybe Jim's watching tonight. Jim, if you're watching and you hear me, well, hello. So we'll see him next Saturday. Oh, I could actually drive down. I never have. He's pretty close to me too. I could drive down to him. He's a little bit north of me. All right, enough of that. I'll send it back to Net, KD7QKU.
And get a Western Washington Net, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's move on to Bothell to Bob, K9PQ.
Let's see. I think the low latency is not so low latency tonight. I think I'm getting out, but I haven't come up there yet. Um, that's odd. It's okay. There I am. Okay, so I've got to take off my headset, and now that it's up there, it comes back through my headset. So Jim, yeah, uncertainty in the market. You hit the nail on the head. That's what, according to my agent, who's very experienced, very good at what she does. Uncertainty in the market is what really makes homes not sell. People just don't want to dive in when they don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, Ron, about the places selling fast, that was happening here too about a month and a half ago, and my timing was just not great. If I had gone on the market then, I think I would have also sold very quickly. But it's just the way it is. It's the reality of the situation now, and now is when I'm selling, and so I just have to deal with that. But I think you were saying you were sorry about it being slow. Maybe I didn't get my message across. It's actually good news right now. I mean, I did have to drop the price, but now I'm getting responses. Excuse me. So that's all really good. And I'm pretty happy right now. I just had a little nervousness that for about a day and a half after dropping the price, we still hadn't had any responses, but we have since then, and things are looking up. James, I've been to your place, but I'm trying to remember how you could get puddles in your yard because I seem to remember you being on a pretty steep hill. So maybe you could explain that one. I would have thought everything would just kind of run down. And yeah, the VHF antenna into the HF output. Yeah, I'm sure I've made mistakes like that one. I don't remember that exact one, but boy, that'll do it. And yeah, that's usually for me it's something like having the antenna selector going to my I can't think of the right word for it. Oh well, not going to the antenna. Usually that's where the problem is for me. So yeah, Meshtastic. I am definitely interested in Meshtastic. I think I'll have to see wherever I move to how if it's going on there. It does sound like it's a very local thing, but I first heard about it from my friend Chris, KC8MUS, and he's been doing it. He had to put it on pause for a little while. He's got other things going on, but yeah, he kind of has dove into that and is playing around with that too. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are in that too. It sounds like fun. Always nice to like try out a new thing in the hobby. Okay, I think that's about it from here. I can't think of anything else going on to talk about at the moment, so I will just send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Now let's go back to Tacoma to Wade, W7ITL.
All right, so let's see if we got audio, and got audio. Okay, good. So to answer a few questions, so the rack wireless is the one that went in the box, Jim. The Heltex are the little cheap units that are they're relatively about the same price, so like $10 difference. But the Heltex are more suited for handheld. They make two main ones. The one that I showed in the last video was the white one. This is the Heltec T114. So this guy shares a similar components, well, very similar to the rack wireless, which means it's got a lot better battery life with the relatively That's why I put the rack wireless on the roof, because I wanted something that would sip the power in the event that my solar panel wasn't able to get enough juice to power the battery. So supposedly the rack wireless and the Heltec T114, they can probably do about a week or so on 3,000 milliamps. The Heltec V3 will probably slurp down a 3,000 milliwatt battery in about 24 hours. So that gives you a relative understanding the difference in performance on the battery life. Let's see. I mentioned that I was at the Radio Club Tacoma this morning. Yeah, I got to meet Doug as well. Ron, he was up there in the radio room, and I didn't know he was a lawyer. I did know that he is the current emergency ARES coordinator or manager for the region here in Pierce County. So, yeah, it was nice to meet you, Doug. We met a couple times now. I think you said you might try to join, so I'm just saying hi to you. Maybe we'll see you on there sometime soon. Just email me or text me when you're ready to try that out. I can send you some documentation and a username password that you can use on the repeater to use over the internet. So, Jim, sounds like maybe you're getting pretty good video tonight, which I'm looking at the signal coming into my receiver. It's about negative 65 dBm, so probably working pretty okay. If it gets above negative 67, 68, that's when it starts. I noticed that when you complain, it's about where it starts to stop working. Let's see. Lastly, yeah, so yeah, all that stuff I did. Before I did all that, I helped my wife. We did Laundry Mountain, and we got probably 10 loads of laundry folded, and now our room is in a better position, so no more laundry hanging out by the bed. So, yeah, that's one of my least things I like to do is work on laundry. So, I did domestic chores today too. All right, well, that is all I got. We're at 19 minutes before the end of the hour. I'll say maybe we'll see on the next round, maybe not, depending on how the next few more rounds go with folks. All right, well, I'll turn it back to Net Control. This is W7ITL, and I just realized I wasn't using my 2 meters, so folks that are listening on 2 meters, you probably didn't hear me, so apologize. I forget sometimes, so I will return back to Net Control.
And to get Jim N7QO, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, everyone's been complaining a bit about rain. I lucked out today over here. It has been pretty dry. When I first got up, everything was wet, but I haven't really noticed it raining since then. I don't know what's going on now. I don't have a window available where I am in the shack here, but hopefully I won't have to walk outside in the rain here tonight. And I'm showing 55 degrees here just south of Covington. Let's see. Well, wait, it sounds like you've got that node set up so you'll never have to go up on the roof and mess with that thing again unless it breaks. That's great. A pretty healthy battery maintained by a solar cell. Looks like a pretty sizable solar cell. That's great. And yeah, I don't like doing laundry either, but it's good if you can have some household chores accomplished when your wife gets home. It will make her more happy if she has less stuff to do. I have discovered that. I don't know how I discovered that, but I discovered that. Anyway, and my pictures, my receipt of the television repeater was really good tonight, up until about the last 10 minutes or so. So I'm guessing the wind has probably picked up at Cougar Mountain. I still am getting probably 80 to 90% copy pretty much on everyone. It started during Bellevue Jim's last transmission, and pretty much everyone there since that last transmission. Dave, Ron, Bob, Wade, all of you have been breaking up, but like I said, maybe 80 to 90% right now. So we need to get a wind indicator, an anemometer at least, on Cougar Mountain there. I think that would be really cool information to have. Anyway, looking good, a whole lot better than it has. I went for at least a whole month with virtually wasting my time trying to get pictures, and so this is still tolerable. Except every now and then the audio cuts out on the television repeater, but it's not like we're missing anything terribly important. So back to you, Dave, N7QO.
Okay, this is WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Oh my goodness, I'm little digital squares now. I wonder if that's something I did wrong here. My call sign is clear, but I'm a solid blur. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Now I'm a white line with gray on each side. So maybe the computer's confused. Well, I wanted to show everybody something, but it doesn't look like it's coming over the 1.2 gigahertz circuit, so there's not much point. Let me see if I can turn it off and turn it on again.
Jim, you're in like a tic-tac format right now.
Actually, it's amazing this works at all. I'm going through my cell phone, through my Wi-Fi, through the capital I internet, and finally somehow making it up there. Oh, there I am. Okay. So I've shown you this before, but, in particular, I thought Ron might want to take a look at this because maybe he would have an idea on this. This is a fuel canister that apparently, for some odd reason, is available for cheap in like Great Britain, for example, but it's an isobutane, so shipping it is really not very practical from there, and it probably wouldn't be economical anyway. But you can't get them here in the United States, and let me show you why. Okay, that was an interesting experiment because there was enough resolution there that you could see the top of the fuel canister. It's a camping gas canister. It just has a little dimple in the top. How these work is you snap the appliance, the burner or the lantern on the top, then screw it down, and it actually has a little spike that punctures it with a rubber seal that seals around it. So what I was thinking of doing with these is building some sort of little converter so it could go to a propane cylinder, which has advantages because I think propane can go through something like minus 40 degrees centigrade below freezing, whereas the isobutane, it doesn't completely lock up at 0. It goes a little low, but not very much lower. And then the butane, which comes in the cans that looks like it's like a spray can, those stop at freezing. I think it's 1 centigrade degree below freezing, and they just don't work anymore. So those are the 3 kinds of gases used in gas camping appliances. So that's one of the things I've been playing here with recently. I inherited a whole bunch of kind of odd stoves. I think tomorrow morning I'll get gutsy and see if I can test the very early generation, kind of looks like an MSR stove that you pump up, and then there's a little tube that goes to the burner, not like a Coleman. It's I guess it's lighter weight. It was for camping people or mountain climbing people, made by Mountain Research, I think is the company. But anyway, like Generation 1, I can't even find markings on it. We'll have to see if that one works. I will be wearing my welding helmet and gloves all the way to my armpits and a leather apron when I try it out. Not that I distrust it or anything. Okay, so one thought that occurs to me, I guess I do have to transmit on 2 since the ATV signal is not going automatically up to 2 meters. So I guess I am not doubling over the top of myself because that would create quite a delay and quite an echo. Right now, my count is 20. The time count is 20:50:25:26:27:28. So you can see quite a bit of delay there. Anyway, 10 minutes to the top of the hour, so let's give somebody else a chance. And this is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Let's give it back to Dave, our net control.
WU7N, thanks with that. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZY. You might check REI. They may have that. Like a few years back, they had those canisters at REI. So that might be something to look forward to. And for Bob, you might advertise on the Arabian Times. It seems like the Middle East wants to invest a bunch of money in America. So anyway, you might get an ad in the Arab Times or something. It might sell overnight. Who knows? Even with an inflated price. They're so eager to want to invest in America. So with that, I'm going to move back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Good evening again, KD7QKU here. Well, James, I remember you showed us those canisters and looked them up on Amazon, and they had them for sale on Amazon, but they were pretty darn spendy. The stuff was expensive. And if you puncture that canister, I guess it's not refillable. That's too bad, because the other ones that we use, the American style, they're refillable. You can take a big tank and turn it upside down and buy an adapter. So I don't know I was going to suggest that you could buy an adapter and maybe convert them over your stove over to our type of canister. So you might do a search. You can just about buy anything anymore. So I'm sure that somebody must have made an adapter or a converter to change it over to a different style tank. So you should check that out. Probably even find it on Amazon. So let's see what else is going on. Well, I don't know a whole lot. Tomorrow is my daughter-in-law that lives out on the Key Peninsula. It's her parents' 50th wedding anniversary, so we're going out to Mike's house. They're going to have a barbecue. He has, it's like a park out there at his place. He has horseshoes, he has croquet, he has all the games that you throw, and cornhole games and everything. And of course he has motorcycles. So I had my four-wheeler was loaned out to another Joanne's niece's. Lisa's husband Matt had it, and he'd taken it up to Canada a couple times. But anyway, he got a motorcycle, so he brought it back. So it was out to Mike. So Mike cleaned the carburetor and did a few things to it. And, oh, he had to get this boot that went between the air cleaner and the carburetor. It had, I forget what year my four-wheeler was, 2001, I think. Anyway, it was a Polaris, real nice one, and still in real nice shape. So anyway, he had to get this rubber boot that went between the carburetor and the air filter. It had completely deteriorated and rotted apart, so he got a new boot for it. So anyway, he told me that it was running good, so I went out in the shed and I got my helmet. So tomorrow when we go out there, I'll take my helmet and probably ride it around. I don't know how long the course is around these 15 acres, but it's a lot of fun to ride around these track. I guess you call it a track. It's, you know, through the woods and around the trees, and he made some mounds and everything else, so it's it goes over the mounds. Looks like my cat's going to use the cat box. We'll see when she goes BM. Oh, stink! Oh my gollies! So I hope she's not going to do that. So anyway, all right. I guess enough of that. So yeah, James, look on Amazon. I bet you can find an adapter to convert it over to the American style propane, little propane tank. So back to net, KD7QKU.
Amateur television system. And we'll try. No response.
I didn't hear you call me, Dave. Let's see. I wanted to show you a few more pictures, and let's get my audio turned down so I don't have to hear myself. So let's see, screen capture. Let's get this to work. All right. So Carlos sent me a couple pictures from the Ham Dayton, the Dayton Hamvention, and look at that. We got a Jim Andrews amp there. Let's see if I can show you some more pictures he sent me. And we got some of the old gear that we used to use. Somebody was selling that. It's a PC Tektronix, or whatever they call those. I was going to show you a picture of, if I can find it. So not able to find it, but I wanted to say before I forget, I also had a conversation with Jim Hansen at the Radio Club of Tacoma, and I wanted just to say, hey, if you're watching, Jim, sometime soon in the near future, I'll come over and we can work on your ham shack. It's pretty cool, all the stuff you got there with the ham shack that you're building out in the backyard. Maybe we get some DATV equipment set up in there for you, because as I mentioned, I've come by your house and I did some tests and it does work there. So that's That's all I got left for tonight. I was going to show you that, and maybe on the next net I'll show you. But the PC electronics, somebody at the Hamvention had figured a way to use those old PC electronics transceivers to transmit DATV. They must have figured a way to bypass the analog circuit and use it as an amplifier. So that could be something that we could do in the future too, is use those old PC electronics amps to use for transmitting DATV pictures. So maybe that'll be an experiment I'll play with next when I get more information how that ham had figured it out. I'll see what I can do to find that picture. For whatever reason, I can't find it now, so I'll just turn it back to Dave or Net Control. It is 9 o'clock, or coming close to 9 o'clock. This is W7ITL. Back to Net.
W7ITL. And this is the Western Washington
Amateur Television Society Net.
We'd like to thank
The SeaTac Repeater Group for letting us use W 147.08